Chapter 031. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tsunade scoffed, "Don't talk crazy, kid. I'm gonna wipe the floor with you." "Alright, but what if I win?" "You win? If you actually manage to win, I'll do anything you want," she said confidently. "Let's go." Training grounds, now. Uzumaki Mito shook her head. "You kids go on. This old lady needs her rest. Keep it down tonight, wouldn't want to disturb the neighbors." Tsunade waved a hand dismissively. Yeah, Grandma, we know." Tsunade felt a surge of confidence, already picturing herself crushing Yokaide. A smirk crept across her face. Soon, Yokaide and Tsunade arrived at the training ground. It was deserted. Tsunade casually selected a boulder and smashed it to pieces with a single punch, creating a makeshift arm wrestling platform. "So, kid, getting scared yet?" Tsunade was trying to intimidate him, but seeing Yokaide completely unfazed only irritated her more. "You'll see how strong I am soon enough." Yokaide and Tsunade stood facing each other across the stone platform, gripping each other's hands. Tsunade turned to Kushina. "Kushina, back up. Don't want you getting hurt." Kushina nodded, retreating about 30 feet, then shouted, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey! Tsunade unleashed a continuous roar as golden chakra erupted from her body the instant Kushina started the match. Feng smiled slightly as his own power began to rise. 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, purple chakra began to manifest around Feng. Tsunade's focus flickered, recognizing the chakra on Feng's body. It was identical to her grandfather's. At the same time, a tremendous force began to press against her hand. "Humph!" Tsunade snorted, instantly activating the strength of 100 seal on her forehead, the mitotic regeneration technique. Chakra flooded Tsunade's body, attempting to compensate for her initial disadvantage. This kid's power was insane. And he still looked so relaxed. Tsunade let out a guttural roar as a golden aura enveloped her entire body. "No way you're stronger than me." The terrifying energy radiating from Yokaide and Tsunade blasted outwards, swirling purple and gold chakra into a chaotic vortex. Rumble. The stone platform cracked, the ground beneath their feet began to split as well. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had just returned home and sat down, received a message from an ANBU operative. "Tsunade and Yokaide again?" Sarutobi Biwako had been complaining about Hiruzen's constant overtime. Their eldest was preparing to graduate, and their youngest, Asuma, was starting the ninja academy this year. Hiruzen barely had time for his sons, and now, he was gone again. Biwako shook her head. Maybe overtime was the Hokage's destiny. Meanwhile, Konoha White Feng and Minato Namikaze, who had just seen Danzo off after his return to the village, also noticed the sudden purple and gold vortex emanating from the training grounds. "What's that? Let's check it out." At the training ground, Kushina had retreated another 30 feet, she couldn't even see Yokaide and Tsunade inside the swirling chakra storm. Now, Kushina was regretting suggesting arm wrestling. How was this any different than a full-blown fight? She watched as the purple chakra around Feng roiled like a boiling pot and surged into the air. Simultaneously, countless branches and vines erupted from the ground around Kushina, forming a protective wall. Yokaide was single-minded, focused both on the arm wrestle with Tsunade and on protecting Kushina. "Humph, alright, you get points for protecting Kushina." Tsunade roared, her competitive spirit, dormant for the past 2 years, instantly ignited by Feng. The golden chakra surged skyward, sweeping away the clouds. Bang! The immense chakra dissipated into the air, the sheer pressure causing the ground around them to collapse. Bang! 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 Craters formed everywhere. Kushina turned to see Minato Namikaze and Kakashi Hitaki approaching. "What the heck is going on here?" Minato frowned, staring at the two figures, one purple and one gold, barely visible on either side of the destroyed stone platform, stunned. "Feng. That woman is." Kakashi identified, "It's Tsunade." "Tsunade-sama?" Minato's eyes widened. Tsunade was one of the legendary Sannin, on par with his own master. And it looks like Yifeng has the advantage. Kakashi frowned. Yifeng's strength was beyond anything he'd imagined. His own assassination skills were arguably the best in Konoha, but in pure strength, he was no match for Tsunade, yet, Yikide was overpowering Tsunade. Was a Kekii Genkai this powerful after it awakened? The Senju clan was terrifying. Yikide is arm wrestling Tsunade and holding his own. Minato felt a pang of disappointment. He thought he was catching up with Yifeng, but he seemed to have fallen even further behind. Chapter 032. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just then, Hiruzen Sarutobi barged in. Hey, what are you doing? Before he could finish, Tsunade roared, focusing all her power, and slammed down, rumble, **bang, **. A massive explosion erupted, centered on Yokide and Tsunade. It was like countless bombs going off at once. Everyone's face went pale in the sudden flash of light. Minato Namikaze's eyes widened, and he quickly stepped in front of Kushina. Of course, Yifeng reacted even faster, instantly surrounding Kushina with his wood release, wood ingot wall and wood release, tree boundary wall. Ahem, what are you doing? Everyone else, except Kushina, was nearly blown to smithereens. Even Hiruzen Sarutobi wasn't spared. Seeing the two completely engulfed in the smoke, Kushina realized her suggestion might not have been the best. Sarutobi was speechless. All they were doing was arm wrestling. Was that explosion really necessary? I win. As the smoke cleared, Yokiide's hand pressed Tsunade's hand against the remains of the stone table. The platform was shattered, and the ground beneath them was crisscrossed with cracks. You. Tsunade stared at Yokiide, stunned, unable to believe she'd actually lost, especially since Yifeng was fighting with one hand tied behind his back. Yokiide released Tsunade's hand and stood, loosening his shoulders. Sarutobi looked surprised. Yokiide beat Tsunade. In a straight-up strength contest, he wasn't even sure he could beat Tsunade. This kid Yifeng, he's something else. Tsukumo Hatake remained silent. As for Minato, he was still trying to process what he'd just witnessed. It was a lot to take in. Kushina rushed over. Yifeng. Are you okay? Yifeng patted Kushina's head and said, I'm fine. Kushina glared at Yifeng, then hurried to Tsunade. Tsunade, are you alright? I'm fine, just a little numb. Tsunade said, shaking her head. A loss is a loss, and Tsunade, being a gambling addict, was willing to take her lumps. Tsunade-heim, you know our bet still stands. I always keep my word. So, what do you want me to do? I haven't figured that out yet. I'll let you know next time. Humph. If that kid dares to ask for anything weird, I'll beat him senseless. Then, Tsunade suddenly wondered, could she even beat him? Never mind, she'd worry about that later. Tsunade didn't push Yokiide any further and headed back to the house, taking the initiative to grab the bedding and sleep on the couch. Kushina shot Yifeng a few more glares. Because of it, Mito Uzumaki was also surprised when she learned that Yokiide had beaten Tsunade. Tsunade actually lost. Guess it takes a senju to beat a senju. The next morning, Yifeng was still fast asleep when he was woken up. What is it? Kushina. So, Kushina usually has to drag you out of bed. Some perks you've got there, kid. Yifeng hadn't even opened his eyes yet, but at that voice, he shot right up. How could it be Tsunade? Kushina stood next to Tsunade. Then, Mito Uzumaki's voice came from outside. Yokiide, get up, we're attending a special Konoha leadership meeting this morning. Konoha leadership meeting? Yifeng brushed his teeth while listening to Kushina explain. Because of Danzo's ouster and Hamura and Koharu's retirement, the Konoha administration was in an uproar. A new batch of leaders would be appointed, hence the special meeting. At the same time, a new group of fresh faces would join the high command. Oh, so we're going too? Yep. And so, Yifeng was dragged to the meeting location, the administrative building. At the entrance, they ran into Minato Namikaze and Jiraiya, whose face was still covered in bandages. Jiraiya saw Mito Uzumaki and quickly greeted her. Mito Uzumaki. Mito Uzumaki asked, Jiraiya, what happened to you? Jiraiya glanced at Tsunade and chuckled. it's nothing. I accidentally walked into a telephone pole last night, let's go inside. Yi Feng thought the whole village would be there, but when he arrived, he saw that everyone present was a well-known figure from Konoha, high-ranking officials from various departments, clan heads, the Sannin, and the White Fang of Konoha were all in attendance. There were also exceptional young ninjas like Hokage, Minato Namikaze, Fugaku Uchiha, and the first generation of the Ino Shikacho trio. As Hokage followed Mito Uzumaki and Tsunade into the meeting, he immediately drew attention and murmurs, the guy trailing behind Mito Uzumaki and Tsunade, who else could it be but Hokage? Many officials and clan heads were seeing the real Yi Feng for the first time. That's Yi Feng. He's the one who took down Danzo and his cronies. Looking at him, there's nothing really special about him. Chapter 033. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Feng's group got front row seats, which even surprised him. Then he thought, wait, I am representing the Senju clan. Guess that makes sense. After all, the Senju were Konoha's top clan. At least in theory, everyone's eyes were glued to Yi Feng, who was sitting next to Uzumaki Mito, and he could hear the whispers. That's Yi Feng. He's here too. Any word on who's getting the top 2 spots in the administration? Is Lord Hokage planning to rebuild Root? Maybe. Aside from Danzo, there weren't any other members of the Shimura clan, but Sarutobi Hinata's eldest son, and Sarutobi Asuma's older brother were present. Kushina explained that besides the 3 main clans, Senju, Hyuga, and Uchiha, the Sarutobi and Shimura clans were also famous, dating back to the Warring States period. Lord Hokage's father, Sarutobi Sasuke, was a renowned ninja back then and one of Konoha's co-founders. Pretty much everyone who made it into the venue represented one of Konoha's 38 major families. Listening to Kushina, Yi Feng started to get the picture. The 38 students accepted by the second Hokage represented Konoha's 38 families, the whole Will of Fire thing. It was about bloodlines. If you weren't part of those 38 families, you basically couldn't inherit it. The next torchbearers would probably come from, and be raised within, those families, eventually rising to Konoha's leadership. A lucky few, like Minato Namikaze, could become Hokage, but battlefield achievements alone wouldn't cut it. You needed a powerful wife like Kushina, the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki spokesperson for the Uzumaki clan, and be agreeable enough to the third Hokage. And the elders to qualify. Seeing Naruto with the Uzumaki surname confirmed Minato's decision back then, and Tsukumo Hatake, equally strong and a celebrated war hero, was politically assassinated, even though he was a competitor for the 4th Hokage position. The Will of Fire wasn't just something you could grab whenever you felt like it. Yi Feng realized that if he hadn't awakened the Senju clan's Kekkei Genkai, he wouldn't have gotten a fast pass into Konoha's inner circle like this. When Sarutobi entered the conference room surrounded by Konoha ninja, the room went silent. Everyone watched as the third Hokage walked to the podium, scanned the room, and announced, first, some good news. Shimura Danzo's team achieved a major breakthrough in their first week at Kumogakure. Kumogakure has signed a 20-year peace treaty. We in Kumogakure will remain at peace for at least 20 years. This marks a major milestone on Konoha's road to recovery and peaceful rejuvenation. The room erupted. Many people were visibly relieved. After years of war, everyone understood how precious peace was. If Kumogakure, the most belligerent village, was willing to make peace, then Konoha could finally enjoy lasting peace. The Shimura clan members practically glowed with pride. This asterisk was the light of the Shimura, Konoha's darkness. Even after being wronged, taking the fall, and being sent away, Danzo was still making Konoha proud. Yi Feng was stunned. Danzo wasn't undercover, he was an ambassador. Had he really paved the way for his return so quickly? He was a politician through and through, playing the game at a whole different level. Uzumaki Mito frowned, but kept her thoughts to herself. She had never cared for power, and that was probably why the Senju and Uzumaki clans were in such rough shape. All the men gone. After Sarutobi shared the good news, the official meeting began. Personnel transfers in the executive branch. Sarutobi announced that several young talents would be joining Konoha's upper echelons. Yi Feng listened as Sarutobi's old classmate, Akimichi Teikei's, was temporarily appointed as the highest chief of the administration department. Uzumaki Mito and the head of the Hyuga clan were named special advisors. Tsunade was appointed as the supreme chief of the medical department, with Orochimaru as her deputy. Jiraiya became the principal of the ninja academy, with Minato as his vice principal. The Sannin were back, and they were immediately inserted into key positions. The Uchiha clan remained in charge of the Konoha military police force, but with the dissolution of Root, their powers were expanded as each appointment was made. Yi Feng wondered if they'd have anything for him. Just as the thought crossed his mind, Sarutobi looked in his direction and said, Yi Feng, for his meritorious service in rescuing Kushina and exposing Root's illegal activities, is promoted to special jonin and appointed as the vice principal of the Ninja Academy. Chapter 034. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Feng hadn't seen this coming. Vice principal of the Ninja Academy? That's a pretty sweet gig. Since Hiruzen was the one offering, Yi Feng figured he wouldn't refuse outright. He could always just forget to show up later. Sarutobi wrapped things up with a speech about the will of fire. You know, the hole where there's a leaf, there's a fire, and the fire's shadow protects the village, allowing new leaves to sprout. Basically, young people are the future, and the older generation should trust and guide them. The sacrifices of the past aren't meaningless. They inspire the young to become the pillars of tomorrow. No wonder the third Hokage could rattle off that speech so easily. He'd probably been giving it for years. After the meeting, Sarutobi clapped Yi Feng on the shoulder and said, "Good job. I know you can handle this." Minato Namikaze also came over. "Yi Feng, looks like we're colleagues now. I don't know if I'm really cut out to be a principal." Tsunade rolled her eyes. "Come on, don't be so dense. Vice principal just means teacher, got it?" "Huh? Seriously? That's the game they're playing." Kushina explained that at the academy, vice principal was just one step up from a regular teacher. There were already like 10 vice principals. It was basically just a senior teacher title. Yi Feng had an epiphany. Speechless, they wanted him to be a teacher. No thanks. But just when Yi Feng was ready to coast, Mito Uzumaki wanted to have a word with him, in Mito's room at the Uzumaki residence. "Yi Feng, what do you think of Kushina?" The question came out of nowhere, catching Yi Feng completely off guard. "Grandma Mito, Kushina's great. She's pretty, and..." Mito Uzumaki waved her hand. "Never mind that. Let's be blunt." After a pause, Mito Uzumaki said seriously, "Yi Feng, you're the last of the Senju clan. If you want, consider this place your home. We're all your family. I was wondering, can I entrust Kushina to you?" Yi Feng's eyes lit up. He hadn't expected Mito to be so direct. No beating around the bush. Yi Feng nodded eagerly and said, "Okay, Grandma Mito. I'm in." Mito Uzumaki scoffed. "You sleep all day. What are you going to do? Actually, you can see that Kushina's got a thing for you. So, if you two could actually get together, I'd be all for it. I just don't know if you feel the same way." Yi Feng immediately said, "Of course I do. I'm crazy about Kushina." Yi Feng never passed up an opportunity. Mito Uzumaki nodded in satisfaction. "If you want to be with Kushina, you can't just be a layabout. Actually, I proposed this assignment with the third Hokage." Yi Feng was taken aback, but he understood what Mito Uzumaki was getting at. "Do a good job, and you could be Hokage someday." Suddenly, Yi Feng spoke slowly. "So, Grandma Mito, are you saying if I marry Kushina, I get to be Hokage?" Mito Uzumaki nodded slightly. Yi Feng grinned. "Grandma Mito, is this her dowry?" "No. You're already a member of the Senju clan. And with Kushina, after I pass on the 9 tails to her, you'll definitely be Hokage. No one will oppose you then, because you'll have the strength, you'll be a member of the Senju, and you'll have married the 9 tails Jinchuriki. Understand?" The corners of Yi Feng's mouth turned up, and he said in a deep voice, Grandma Mito, I don't want to be Hokage. Mito Uzumaki was stunned. Was this guy too lazy to be helped? Yi Feng continued, I want to help Kushina become Hokage. Her childhood dream was to be Hokage, and I always remember helping her fulfill her dream. Yi Feng's words made Mito Uzumaki's eyes shine. Really? Mito Uzumaki immediately smiled. You want to make her Konoha's first female Hokage? That's way harder than if you became Hokage yourself. You say you have such an idea, so at least show me what you plan to do, right? Just then, Kushina's voice came from outside. Grandma Mito, Yi Feng, dinner's ready. Mito Uzumaki smiled and said, let's go. The easiest way to make a man feel responsible is to start a family and have kids. She believed that today's words would make Yi Feng get serious. Actually, Mito Uzumaki hadn't said everything she was thinking. Her plan was for them to get married and have children as soon as possible, so the Senju clan's bloodline could continue. Her own body could still last for 5, maybe even 10 years. So, Yi Feng became the vice principal of the Ninja Academy, basically, an instructor. Recently, the balance of power between the 5 ninja states had been shifting, and the borders of various countries and ninja villages were seeing more disputes, skirmishes, and conflicts. The ninjas of Konoha Village were being sent out on missions in droves, and the village needed skilled ninja who could guide the rookies, and that was how Yi Feng became an instructor at the Ninja Academy. As soon as he arrived, Yi Feng got his first assignment. Yi Feng, since you're new, we're putting you in charge of a class. You'll take a graduating class. Ding! Based on the host's current situation, here are 3 choices. Option 1, choose Class 3, Coach Might Guy, Ebisu, Heiate Gecko. Reward, A-Rank Ninjutsu, 8 gates released. Option 2, choose Class 5, Coach Asuma Sarutobi, Kurinai Yuhi, and, same student. Reward, A-Rank Ninjutsu, Thousand Hands Barrage. Option 3, choose Class 7, Coach Kakashi Hitaki, Abito Uchiha, Rin Noera. Reward, Supreme Pack. Chapter 035. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bo Feng Shuimen told Yi Feng, alright, Yi Feng, you get first pick. Yi Feng grinned. In that case, I'll take Class 7. The number 7 just keeps popping up everywhere. Class 7 of this year is the one that's going to shake things up. Abito, who started out as the weakest, would become Madara's puppet, eventually turning into the big bad of the whole Hokage story, and Kakashi is obviously important, too. Yi Feng wondered if his arrival would alter the course of history for Class 7. If Abito hadn't been so badly injured during the Battle of Canopy Bridge, would he still have gone down that dark path? If Yi Feng could control the 3 tails sealed inside Rin, could he prevent that tragedy? And what about the suicide of Tsukumo Hitaki, Konoha's White Fang? Thinking about it, Yi Feng found the whole thing pretty intriguing. Bo Feng Shuimen sighed when Yi Feng chose Class 7. He'd always had a soft spot for that class. Hearing that Yi Feng was taking them, he felt a twinge of loss, like something was slipping away, but Bo Feng Shuimen just nodded. Alright, Class 7 it is. Yi Feng raised an eyebrow. What about you? Bo Feng Shuimen smiled. Don't worry about me. I'll take whoever's left. You go get acquainted with your students. Oh, and here's the new instructor's guide. Take a look at it. Yi Feng grabbed the new shinobi instructor's guide and flipped through it. The first page, The Will of Fire. Where the leaves dance, the fire burns. The fire will continue to illuminate the village, nurturing the growth of new leaves. Yi Feng rolled his eyes, glancing back at the author's name, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Figures, that's probably one of the 3rd Hokage's favorite sayings, the kind of thing he'd repeat constantly, even carve into trees. It's a great PR move, really. Yi Feng skipped ahead. The first section was about being a teacher. First, you need the ability to teach students. Second, you need an open mind and strong morals, so you can lead by example and help your students grow. Even a ninja whose job is to kill needs to be virtuous. That's a bit much. The second section talked about how to train qualified students by organizing various tasks. Qualified students meant those who could become genin, chunin, or even jonin, ready to fight on the battlefield. The land of fire in Konoha always needed fresh blood to maintain their power. That was the whole point of being a ninja. After all, the first task was to have the 3 students in your class complete a survival exercise in the wilderness. Before the exercise, make sure to emphasize how tough it's going to be. For example, tell them that out of 30 graduates, only 10 will be recognized as shinobi, and the rest will be sent back to the academy to retake the exam next year. Get them serious, and don't let them slack off. The wilderness survival exercise involved going out into the wild and having your students, within a limited time, say before noon, try to grab the bells you're carrying. It's supposed to help them develop their ninjutsu and teamwork. Showing off your own strength as a teacher also gives the students a sense of what a battle-hardened ninja can do. You can even use the fact that the students who don't get a bell won't get any lunch to motivate them. The goal is to make sure these graduates have the skills and self-preservation abilities they need before they're sent out on missions. Then you start with D-rank missions, then C-rank missions. That's the standard process for Konoha veterans training newbies. Feng thought the whole thing sounded awfully familiar. Guess I should go meet them. Feng stopped outside the classroom door, hearing a girl's voice inside. Ugh, Obito, why is our teacher so late? I don't know, Rin. That must be Obito Uchiha. Maybe he's helping an old lady cross the street. Kakashi, what's that supposed to mean? Without even looking, Kakashi was already giving Obito a hard time. Seriously, that helping an old lady across the street excuse was terrible. Obito always used that excuse like everyone else was an idiot. No wonder Kakashi couldn't stand it. Ahem, hello everyone. I'm your instructor. Feng stepped into the room and took in the 3 kids in front of him, and he was immediately taken aback. They were different from what he'd imagined. These little kids look like they're barely out of elementary school, maybe 5th or 6th grade. Noera Rin spoke up politely. Hello, teacher. She thought to herself, this teacher is kind of cute. Then Obito, with his black hair and goggles, glanced at Feng and muttered, hello, teacher. Obito thought to himself, this guy looks as clueless as Kakashi. Finally, Kakashi, whose face was hidden by a mask, only showing his eyes, said, hello, teacher. Feng nodded. Alright, then let's start with introductions. You go first. The 3 of them said at the same time, teacher, you go first. Chapter 036. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Me. I'm Night Maple. Your turn. Then, Feng flipped open the new Shinobi Professor's Guide and, following its advice, said, tell me about what you like, what you hate, your dreams, your interests, that kind of stuff. The 3 students looked at Feng. Sensei, you go first. Feng was taken aback. Am I the teacher, or are you? It's your turn. Start from left to right. I'll go first. Obito pushed up his goggles and grinned. My name is Uchiha Obito, and my favorite thing is ramen. The thing I hate most is war. My dream is to become Hokage. To end this war, and have our family, and everyone in the village, finally recognize me. Kakashi snorted. You. Hokage. You'd be helping old ladies cross the street for 100 years before that happens. Obito flared up. Kakashi, what's that supposed to mean? Think you're so great. I'm Uchiha Obito of the Uchiha clan. Sooner or later, I'll surpass you. Just wait, till I unlock my Sharingan. Kakashi stared at Obito like he was an idiot. Aren't all Uchiha supposed to be elites? You shouldn't even need to unlock your Sharingan to be strong. Obito gritted his teeth. What did you say? Rin jumped in quickly. Okay, break it up, you two. The sensei's watching. Feng watched them, amused. It was like watching a classic love-hate relationship unfold. Your turn, right, Rin Noera? Rin straightened up. Yes, sensei. My name is Rin Noera. What I like most is cake. What I hate most is curry rice. My dream is to become a medical ninja and save lives on the battlefield. Yi Feng nodded. Good. Good for you. This little lady would be the support of Team 7 later on. Without her, Obito and Kakashi would have been goners long ago. Noera Rin nodded enthusiastically and looked at Yi Feng, deciding that this Yikide-sensei wasn't so bad after all. Then, Yikide looked at Kakashi, who was small and cute now, but already exuded arrogance. Yokide couldn't resist ruffling Kakashi's gravity-defying white hair. Kakashi, your turn. Kakashi angrily swatted Yokide's hand away. Sensei, you messed up my hair. You know my name already, so I don't need to say anything else. Yi Feng looked at the three kids with their distinct personalities and suddenly thought of a timeless Hokage mystery. Who did Rin really like? Both Obito and Kakashi supporters claimed to have mountains of evidence on their side. Kishimoto never gave a clear answer, and the debate raged on. Now, looking at these three youngsters, Yi Feng knew the answer. The answer was, these three were barely 10 years old. What did they know about love? Ahem, alright, everyone knows each other. You know me too. Again, my name is Yi Feng, your instructor from now on. That's the end of introductions. Starting tomorrow. All three looked at Yi Feng. Sensei, what's the mission? Survival drills in the wilderness. Obito perked up immediately. We did drills all the time in the academy. Yi Feng grinned. This drill is different. Your opponent is me. Sensei, you. Sensei, you're kidding, right? Yi Feng chuckled. Heh, yeah. For this exercise, you need to be mentally prepared. The elimination rate is over 66%. Out of the 30 graduates in your class, only about 10 will pass. The rest will be sent back to the academy for remedial training. Got it? Obito's eyes widened, Rin was speechless, and Kakashi remained silent. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, Konoha Forest. Wait at the gate of the ninja third training ground. Don't be late. As soon as Yi Feng finished speaking, he vanished, leaving a stunned trio. Lin blinked. Sensei Yefeng's gone. Whoa, it's like magic. Obito exclaimed. Kakashi scoffed. Idiot. That's the body flicker technique. Kakashi, who are you calling an idiot? Lin saw the two were about to squabble again, and quickly intervened. Stop arguing. Think about what we're going to do tomorrow. Obito pouted. The sensei was just messing with us. There's no way it's that extreme. Oh, I wasn't. Obito jumped. Ah. Sensei, you scared me. You're like a ghost. Yi Feng laughed. Obito, you need to toughen up. Almost forgot to remind you, bring your ninja tools, and skip breakfast. Otherwise, don't blame me when you're throwing up. As soon as he finished, Yefeng poofed and turned into a log. Surprised, Rin picked up the piece of wood. Kakashi said grimly, that's a substitution jutsu. What appeared just now was just a stand-in. Chapter 037. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey Yi Feng, back early? Yeah. He nodded and gave Kushina a playful head rub. Stop it. Kushina playfully swatted his hand away. Did you meet your students? Yi Feng, kicking off his shoes, replied, yep, one's Obito, another's Rin, and the last is Kakashi. Kakashi? I know him. He's a genius kid, son of the White Fang. Yi Feng was surprised. You do? Duh. You think I'm clueless? Kushina, like a cute kitten, stood right in front of him. Let's head inside. Yi Feng naturally took Kushina's hand, and she, a little shy, didn't pull away. What about the other two? One's an Uchiha and the other's a Noera, I think. Yi Feng, your students sound like a handful. A White Fang's kid and an Uchiha. Wow. Yeah, they're pretty strong. As soon as they walked in, Tsunade yelled, hey, hotshot, you haven't popped the question to Kushina yet? What's the hold up? Kushina shyly pulled her hand away, and Feng briefly fantasized about punching Tsunade. Tsunade continued, Kushina's the next heir of the Uzumaki clan. It's tradition, you know. She's gotta have someone worthy by her side. Feng chuckled, and at that moment, Mito Uzumaki came into the room. Feng, you're a jonin now. Were you asleep during the meeting yesterday? Tsunade's eyes went wide. What? He's a jonin. Since when? We have a system in Konoha. He hasn't even made chunin. Did the third Hokage okay this? Mito ignored Tsunade, turned to Feng, and said, come on, dinner's ready. Throughout dinner, Tsunade was still fuming about Feng breaking Konoha's long-standing rules. Feng smiled and said, rules are made to be broken. People make them, people break them. It's normal. Tsunade still looked annoyed, and then Orochimaru suddenly showed up. Tsunade, get to the hospital. We have an emergency. Tsunade immediately left her meal untouched. Saving lives always came first for the medical team. Feng's ears perked up. He vaguely heard Orochimaru tell Tsunade that something had happened at the Mist Village. Mist Village? Feng immediately thought about the Three Tails incident that led to Rin's death. Back then, Madara conspired with the third Mizukage to inject the Three Tails into Rin, turning her into its Jinchuriki. He then planned to send her back to Konoha, hoping to destroy the village. That plan was shut down by Kakashi himself, who killed Rin. This made Feng think about the Uchiha clan's ghost, Uchiha Madara. As Feng was lost in thought, Kushina put some meat on his plate. Feng, this is your first time leading a team. You've got to think about how to train them tomorrow. Feng nodded. I know, Kushina. But inside he thought this is probably the start of the Third Great Ninja War. Actually, it's already begun, but most people haven't caught on yet. Otherwise, why would kids like Kakashi, Obito, and Rin need to grow up so fast? That 20-year peace treaty signed between Danzo and Cloud Village probably blinded a lot of people. But Feng wasn't convinced that such a peace treaty would hold. The next day, Feng was still asleep when he was abruptly woken up. What? He rubbed his eyes, still sleepy, but took a closer look at the person, making sure he knew who it was. It was Kushina. She stood there, hands on her hips, looking peeved. Feng. How many times have I called you? Are you still sleeping? What time is it? You're going to be late to meet your students. He yawned. What time is it? I have plenty of time. After washing up, Kushina was still rushing him. Hurry. You're really gonna be late. She couldn't understand why Feng was so lazy. He looked at her and suddenly grabbed her hand. What's up? Kushina suddenly blushed. Feng had been thinking about this all last night, especially what Tsunade had said at dinner. The girl was shy, and he, as a man, needed to take the initiative. Kushina, I love you. Will you marry me? Kushina's face turned red, and she looked at him with wide eyes. Are you proposing? He was taken aback. Wasn't this a proposal? Seeing Feng's silent reaction, Kushina huffed inside. This idiot. Is that how you propose? People propose with rings, or at least a bouquet of flowers. I promised him this. Wouldn't it be too frivolous? Feng hesitated. Well, Kushina, I'm asking you now. Will you marry me? She couldn't help but smile, playfully poking his arm. You're such an idiot. You couldn't even bring a flower. His eyes lit up, and he slapped his forehead. Oh man, I'm so dense. As soon as he said the words, poof, a clone appeared behind him and immediately ran out of the house. A moment later, the clone came rushing back with a bouquet of roses. Kushina smiled, took the roses, looked at Feng, and said in a sweet voice, ugh, fine. I'll marry you. Then she added, but you have to get Grandma Mito's permission. She's my family. Just then, Mito Uzumaki came out of the house, smiling. I approve. Kushina went over to Mito, being playful, grabbed her, and said, "Grandma Mito, you were eavesdropping." Mito looked at them both with affection. "Seeing you two together warms my heart, as your elder. Your marriage is settled." Kushina suddenly lowered her head, embarrassed. She hadn't expected to marry Yi Feng so suddenly. Yi Feng's heart was filled with joy. Is this love? At the same time, he felt a profound sense of responsibility. He was going to marry his girl. No matter what, he wouldn't screw this up. Suddenly, Kushina gasped softly, "Yi Feng, hurry up and go. You're gonna be late." Chapter 038. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, listen up, you three. We're out here in the Konoha forest, right at the ninja training grounds. You've been waiting for me for an hour. I get it. Obito was already whining. "Man, Rin, this is bogus. We've been here forever. This guy's never on time." Rin, equally annoyed, chimed in, "Seriously. He's totally unreliable." Kakashi, ever the cool one, just sniped, "Yeah, you're a real picture of punctuality, Obito." Obito, of course, blew up. "Kakashi, what's that supposed to mean?" That's when I stroll up, all smiles. "Whoa, you guys are wound up tight. They all look at my happy face like I'm crazy." "Morning, teacher." They managed to choke out. Alright. Looks like you're ready to go. Let's head on in." Yeah, right, they're all thinking. "This guy's gonna be a train wreck." So, we get settled, and I'm laying down the rules. Kakashi's all business. "So, we just gotta grab the bell from you, and we win, right?" "That's the deal," I say, nodding. "And whoever totally bombs gets to skip lunch." "What?" Obito yells, a dark cloud forming over his head. "You've got 2 hours. Let's roll." Before the last word is even out of my mouth, thwack, a kunai knife zips past my head. "Kakashi." "Not bad," I say, plucking the kunai out of the air. "Nice try." Next thing I know, Kakashi's vanished and reappeared behind me, another kunai aimed right at my back. Obito's jaw dropped, his whole body shaking. Rin gasped, her eyes wide. Suddenly, I'm behind Kakashi, his eyes bug out. The body flicker technique. Before he can react, I grab his ankle and hang him upside down, but Kakashi is relentless. He's reaching for the bells, and trying to stab me. "Don't give up." I twist away from the kunai, and chuck Kakashi across the field. Oof. He lands right on top of Obito, and they go tumbling in a heap. Seriously, guys? What am I watching here? You two look like you're auditioning for the ninja cheerleading squad. Rin finally gets it. "Kakashi, Obito, we can't do this alone. We have to work together." I give Rin a nod of approval. See? The girls are always the smart ones. Rin beams at the compliment. Kakashi stands up, brushes himself off, and stares at the ground, brooding. Obito sulks. "But there are only 2 bells. How are we supposed to share?" "We all work together, but someone doesn't get to eat." Rin's quick. "We can share the food." There's my team leader. I think Kakashi's got the skills, but he's arrogant, thinks he's too good for his teammates, and always wants to be the hero. Obito's a winner, always complaining and never thinking about solutions. Only Rin can pull them together. "Alright, let's go again. I won't use any ninjutsu. Just try to take the bells." 2 hours later, Obito's dragging, ready to collapse. "Teacher, you're totally a taijutsu specialist." They haven't even touched the bells. Obito figures no ninjutsu means I'm a physical powerhouse. Kakashi gets knocked down again, eats dirt, and gets back up. "Idiot." Obito explodes. "What did I say wrong? He's Yi Feng, descendant of the first Hokage. You think the first was known for taijutsu? Are you kidding me?" Obito's speechless. "Wait, what? I'm related to the first Hokage?" Rin, who didn't know any of this, is staring at me like I'm a god. "The first Hokage is, like, the ultimate ninja in Konoha's history, so, being his descendant, it's a big deal, I sigh. Hold on, my name is Feng, not Senju. Kakashi's still confused. Sensei, aren't you from the Senju clan? I shrug. Don't worry about it. Just call me Teacher Feng. As I'm talking, bam. Another Kakashi appears behind me, a shadow clone. Rin and Obito actually look excited, he's about to grab the bells when, boom. He vanishes, that Kakashi was the clone, the real one is getting pinned to the ground. Ah, nice. Using the shadow clone technique. Good thinking for someone your age. I let Kakashi up. Good job. Remember, you're a team first, ninjas second. Teamwork saves lives in real missions. Talent is important, but teamwork makes 1 + 1 greater than 2. Combined strengths can win wars. Team weaknesses get exploited, and can be fatal. For example. Suddenly, tree roots pop up under their feet, Kakashi's eyes widen. He leaps back. Watch out, Rin retreats too, Obito just stands there, clueless. But before he knows it, the roots yank him to my feet. Oof, I crouch down and flick him on the forehead. See? That's a weakness. Weaknesses are often fatal. Imagine this. You're on a mission, you have secrets, and Obito gets captured. Rin, Kakashi, spill your secrets. Or Obito is toast. Ugh. Kakashi rolls his eyes. I'm just making a point, I say. You have to make painful choices. Give up a teammate to save the village, or give up the mission to save your teammate, which lets the village suffer greater losses. Obito's ashamed, but defiant. That's not fair, teacher. You got me when I wasn't paying attention. And you said you wouldn't use ninjutsu, and then you used ninjutsu, Kakashi, idiot. I chuckle. Fair and unfair don't exist on the battlefield. Only survivors and dead heroes. Remember the memorial stone at the entrance? It's full of dead heroes. They get a name on a stone. You think they cried, "That's not fair," before they died? Intelligence said it was a lower-ranked ninja, how could they be so powerful? The intelligence was wrong, so I died, they all look pretty shaken up. Obito, if you don't want to be a burden to your teammates, train harder. Stop focusing on the Sharingan. If others train for 5 hours, you train for 10. If others train for 10 hours, you train for 20. You're not as talented. Don't live in a fantasy world. War is brutal. And it's coming. If you don't want to die, don't want to drag down your teammates, don't want to dishonor your family, then work harder. And then, I see Obito's eyes start to water, did I just make him cry, Chapter 039. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Konoha Village, a training ground on Uchiha land, the setting sun cast long shadows as a kid, drenched in sweat, practiced sealing techniques. Clone Jutsu, poof, starred at a puff of white smoke appeared, but nothing materialized. Ah, man. Failed again. Obito scratched his head, frustrated, why could Master Feng create perfect clones? Why was Kakashi's clone technique so flawless? Why couldn't he get it right? He remembered Feng's words from earlier, stinging like a slap in the face. He'd fantasized about being a genius, a prodigy, becoming Hokage, and making his mark on the ninja world, but the truth was, he just wasn't that talented. He tried to fool himself, but today, he couldn't anymore, and the sidelong glances from the other Uchiha clan members didn't help. That's Obito, working so hard. Too bad he lost his parents so young. Without parents to guide him, he's just not up to par. Heard he came back crying today. Guess he bombed, needs to go back to the drawing board. Their whispers, laced with disdain, cut deep. Obito's shoulders trembled. I'm not a loser. He yelled, fueled by anger. he stormed home. His grandma greeted him. "Obito, you're back. Dinner's ready." "Not hungry." Obito slammed his bedroom door and started doing push-ups like a man possessed. 197, 198, 199, 200. Obito gritted his teeth, pushing himself to the limit, sweat pouring off him, soaking the floor. Finally, he collapsed, Yefeng's words echoing in his mind. You're holding back your teammates, disgracing your family. Obito sucked it up and got back up to keep practicing. Over at Rin Nohara's house, her parents smiled. "Rin, tell me, are you settling in?" Rin nodded. "Yeah, Master Yefeng is actually pretty cool. By the way, Mom, Dad, have you heard of Master Yefeng?" "Yefeng? No, what about it, Rin?" Lin put chin in her hand, remembering the hearty smile. "Kakashi says Yefeng-sensei is a total badass." "A badass, huh? Then you should study hard with Master Yefeng." "Okay," Rin replied obediently. At his own place, Kakashi ate instant noodles alone. His father was away on official business. He thought about his conversation with Yefeng. This Yefeng instructor is unreliable, or is he too tolerant with students? It is really amazing that Uchiha can pass the level with a skill like Obito. Meanwhile, Yefeng was having dinner with Uzumaki Mito, Kushina, and Tsunade. As soon as she sat down, Tsunade complained about being swamped at the medical ward and barely getting any sleep. She then talked about a recent revolt in the Hidden Mist Village that left many low-level ninjas injured or dead. Many of Konoha's undercover agents stationed there had also fled during the uprising. Those who made it back to Konoha were in rough shape. That's why Tsunade was working overtime. Yokai listened intently, gathering what little information he could glean about Konoha's higher-level operations. Hidden Mist Village, most famous for blood mist. But Yefeng doesn't know why it is called blood mist. Is it simply his own people killing his own people? Tsunade explained. The Mist Village used to be like Konoha, with everyone on equal footing, but things changed after the third Mizukage took over. The village's established noble clans, along with the Jonin families who earned merits in the war, became the ruling elite. Smaller families, including those absorbed by the Mist Village, as well as those with bloodline limits and ordinary families, were demoted to commoners. These commoners were assigned the most dangerous missions and treated as disposable tools, not even as well as dogs. As for the blood mist label, that comes from the Mist Village's practice of forcing genin candidates to kill one of their classmates during the graduation exam. Of course, that's an ordeal reserved for commoners. The nobles don't have to go through it. Naturally, the commoners aren't happy, and they're on the verge of revolting. Then, I heard that it was the higher-ups in Wuin Village who sent 7 ninja swords to bloodily suppress it, and the entire Wuin Village was shrouded in bloody terror. The 7 ninja swordsmen. Finally, Feng heard something he recognized. However, the members Tsunade named, Loquat Juzo, Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost, Kuriki Shotwe Shiramaru, Tsukusa Wild Bait Man, No Pair Shinhachi, Black Ho Thunder Tooth, and Ghost Lantern Senkaku, were all unfamiliar to him. How come there is no mahogany anymore not chopped in it? Then, Tsunade added. The Hokage is planning to send several ninja teams to the vicinity of the Mist Village. Sounds like that idiot Jiraiya is going to be in charge. Feng asked, curious, isn't Jiraiya the school principal? Why does he have to go on missions? Tsunade gave Yokai an incredulous look. The Ninja Academy is there to train ninjas for missions. And the school's headmaster being in charge of the mission, isn't it normal? This mission isn't going to involve us in shinobi school, is it? Tsunade shrugged. That's what I heard. We're short on manpower these days, and there have been a lot of border skirmishes. Almost everyone's been deployed. If things get bad enough, even fresh-faced shinobi school students will be sent to the battlefield. Chapter 040. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tsunade scoffed, knowing how you cling to life, there's no way the administration would ever assign a mission to you. Mito gave Tsunade a look. Tsunade, if you're against assigning missions to Yokai, then don't bring it up again. Tsunade retorted, Grandma, you want to send Yokai out there? No way. If anything, he's staying put until Kushina's had a baby. Yokai was speechless. Was she being that blunt? Did he sound like some kind of stud? Wait until Kushina's had a baby before I can go on a mission. Tsunade's words actually resonated with him. Kushina's face flushed, and she fidgeted, glaring at Yokai. How could Tsunade say such a thing? Uzumaki Mito frowned. If you act like this, what will people think of the Senju clan? Konoha is founded on the principle that the village comes first, and everyone is a member. There's no room for special treatment. Besides, Night Maple is supposed to be the next Hokage. He even said he wouldn't be Hokage, and that Kushina would be. How can he be called Hokage if he backs down from a mission like this? Tsunade pouted. Humph, better than getting killed. You still think Roppu and Dun's deaths were just accidents? I don't know if they were accidents, but I don't want another one. He's the only remaining male member of our Senju clan, after all. Yokai was confused. Hadn't Tsunade been unhappy with him before? Why the sudden change of heart? Tsunade remained defiant. Besides, with Yokai's current strength, he could definitely become Hokage once the teacher retires, with support from me and you, Grandma. Foolish girl, do you think strength and our family's backing are all it takes? You're still so naive. Yokai was puzzled by Mito's words. Mito explained, Hokage is chosen by all the ninja in our village. It's not about being the strongest. It's about gaining the village's trust and recognition to become Hokage. A spark of understanding flashed in Yokai's eyes. Tsunade, Uchiha wanted to be Hokage back then, so why didn't he succeed? Wasn't he strong? Uchiha's strength was on par with yours, but why did your grandfather inherit the title of Hokage? It wasn't just the Senju clan pulling the strings, it was the entire village's choice. Even the Uchiha clan themselves weren't sold on Uchiha spots. You still think being the strongest is all there is to it? Yokai had an epiphany. Many questions he'd had while watching Naruto suddenly clicked into place. Why didn't Orochimaru become Hokage? Did the third Hokage really just hand-pick the Water Gate? Most of Konoha probably wouldn't want a monster like Orochimaru as Hokage, right? Becoming Hokage requires the will of the people. Subtle, Tsunade pouted. Grandma, I know all that. What does that have to do with what I said? By telling Yokai not to accept the mission, what will others think of him? What will they think of the Senju clan? How will he ever have the face to compete for the Hokage title? Of course, it's still early to say that. Yokai, you'd better rack up some battle merits and get to know all the upper-level ninja in the village. Still early, not at all. Everyone thought peace would continue, but a new ninja war was just around the corner. After that big battle, Sarutobi would step down, making way for the fourth generation. That would be the perfect time for Yokai to help Kushina vie for the title of fourth Hokage. Grandma, do as you see fit. I don't want to get involved. Tsunade then brought up Yokai's proposal to Kushina. You're really shameless. Offering just one flower to marry our Kushina. Tsunade-sama. Kushina whispered, her face beet red. Just then, Jiraiya arrived. He still had bandages on his face from their last encounter. Night Maple. Yokai had a hunch the moment he heard that voice. Was he finally going to war? Yokai wasn't afraid, he was almost excited. Tsunade interrupted Jiraiya. Jiraiya, you be the judge. Yokai proposed to my sister Kushina with only one flower. Is that enough? Jiraiya touched his bandaged face cautiously. I think it's okay. Before he could finish, Tsunade punched him. Ugh! Jiraiya flew out of the small courtyard. Bang! A loud thud echoed from outside. 10 minutes later, Jiraiya sat across from Yokai, bandages wrapped around both cheeks, making him almost unrecognizable. Yokai, I'm here because a mission has come up. Is it a mission involving the Mist Village? Jiraiya nodded. Yes, you seem to be well informed. It appears that the rebellion in the Mist Village has resulted in the exodus of a large number of civilian ninja. The Ninja Dao 7's brutal suppression has put the civilian ninja in grave danger. Yokaid asked curiously, "Are we going to rescue them?" Jiraiya shook his head. "We don't have the manpower to save everyone. Our mission is to save one person. This person is crucial. She's a young girl who possesses 2 bloodline limits." 2 bloodline limits, he already knew who the girl was.